because we're all Americans now. That's what I say. If you're an Ayn Rand student, if you appreciate objectivism, if you're an individualist, if you love capitalism, if you want a good life for yourself, then to me, that's what makes you American. And that's how I see all of you, to the point where I even forget that you're not living in America. And that's where the, that's my sort of benevolent interpretation of the American pomposity, pompousness. You know, how Americans, we travel all over the world and we expect everyone to speak our language. Like, we forget that, like, other countries have elections. Other countries have problems and situations. Doesn't even occur to us. And I know there's definitely a negative way to interpret that. But it's Thanksgiving. Let's just say it's the American benevolence. It's the American view that, hey, everyone could be an American. And that, to me, is what America is at its best, a welcoming country. A country that says, if you want a good life for yourself, come on in.
As these great innovators do what they do, create these new things, and the businessmen bring it down to the level of actual production. That's why we should honor the businessmen as much as, in some cases, more than the innovators. They're the ones who actually apply these ideas to life.
Right. We should get on our knees in thanks for those greedy business people who are seeking a profit, because in a free country, for them to be making profit means they're providing people. The more people you can satisfy with your product, the richer you'll get. And so the richer they are, in effect, and they're asking they take such a teeny portion of the value that they actually give and provide to the rest of us. Even if it is $1 billion, even if it's $100 billion, it's a tiny portion of what the value they're creating.
It really is.
We should be grateful to the top 1%. They are the ones, in effect, that we should be, well, not all of them, obviously. Some of them are just, crooks. But the ones who have done it through production and voluntary trade, we should be the most grateful to. Yes. They've been the ones who made the most difference to my life and the lives of my family.
She is not on Hitler's level. He didn't declare war on us. Not saying Biden should ever interact with it, but it's a false equivalency. It's not a false equivalency. Would you say that a person who's killed one individual cannot be equilibrated with the person who's killed 10? Or the person who's killed 10 can't be equivalent to a person who's killed 100,000? To kill one person is to make yourself a beast of prey who should be killed. Now, that's not to necessarily go along with capital punishment, because the government may have made a mistake, as they have many times in the past. But morally, anyone who kills one person deserves to die. So there are no degrees of evil once you reach the level of murder. And whether he declared war on us or not, he's declared war on his own citizens.
If we think about one of the hardest parts about a book is, does the structure hang together, and does it have that kind of necessary flow to it where each step follows from the next? You went through your entire draft, and it's what we call reverse outlining it, right? You condensed, I don't know if you did it paragraph by paragraph, but okay, what's the key point here, such that what you have at the end is an outline of your actual manuscript that would look like, if you just came up with an outline to write your manuscript.
That was one of those where there was just no choice in my mind. It was like, I have to do this. It's just is the only way to make sure there's a good, clean sweep through the book. And again, untangling some of the old writing problems and things that just didn't belong there. And it was kind of both it was a difficult process and somewhat tedious, but the satisfaction of dropping things that didn't really need to be there, knowing it was going to be a tighter book as a result, kept me going on that.
Yeah. And I mean, just to get, because people might think, well, if it's tedious and this long, like, why are you doing it? The deepest reason you could put in epistemological terms is the issue of the crow. So in objectivism, there's the idea of your mind can only hold so much in conscious awareness at once. And you can't remember the kind of logical chain of argument that you've been giving over the course of 20 pages, let alone 200. You can't hold that all in mind. And what you do when you turn it into a condensed outline is you can look back and say, oh, this point isn't needed, and oh, this point's needed here. You can think about the book as a total instead of just individual kinds of chunks.
Thanksgiving is selfish. That's the thing you can kind of take away about it. This is not a holiday which you're, and I know some people do the thing where they go to the soup kitchen, and they pour a thing of soup and then they go home into their own Thanksgiving, which is exactly what they should. Thanksgiving is selfish. It's about it's really whatever you do. There's not a prescriptive authority of what Thanksgiving has to be. Some people have the wonderful meal. Sports is a big thing in America. People love to, do sports. They play in their own games. They have a turkey bowl league that they play in. They get together with friends and just toss the football around a little bit. Movies are a big thing, of course, in Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is doing something for you. It's not about, oh, I got to go to church and and Jesus did this and God did this and Allah did this. It's about something fun for you. It's about enjoying life. This is the time to get into that, to celebrate that. You earned it. That's the point. Whether it's treating yourself to the iPhone or the sleeping, this is something that you earned and that you should be selfish about and that you should take pleasure in this holiday season.